Hello Beavros and welcome to the War Thunder update for 1.49. This is a list of things, well, vehicles mainly, that are going to be added next patch for War Thunder that has just been released on the War Thunder dev blog. I believe this is subject to change, so this isn't necessarily an accurate representation of what is going to be added in 1.49, but it's a start. And looking at this list to begin with, Britain look like they're getting some pretty good stuff. So this is going to be great. But I'm going to start at the top of the list with the USA Air Force. The Skyraider AD2 is going to be added in 1.49, which is a American, I believe it's probably going to be tier 4, tier 4 attacker. It's got 2 bomb mounts from the look of it, which from what I've heard can hold up to 2,000 pounds each, which is equivalent to a Wellington, so you know that's pretty good. It's also got several racks for rockets, I believe, count these, 6 on each side, so a lot of rockets. One of the more heavily armed attackers. It's basically a high tier F6F from what I can see, and it also looks like it's got 2 cannons. I can't tell, it's very difficult to tell with these images, but it looks like it might have 2 cannons. And the next on the list, the Russian Air Force IL-2 1943 is going to be added. I would have thought we've already got enough Sturmovix, but hey, if they want to add another Sturmovix, that's their choice. Well, I love me a good Sturmovix, they are quite fun. Got some pretty big guns on them, and pretty decent bomb load, so that should be interesting. Germany are getting the AR-234C3, which is a jet bomber, which most people will probably have heard of already. And the Arado is famous in War Thunder for being one of the worst jet bombers in the game, because it hasn't got a single gun on it. But this version of the Arado, the 234C3, is getting guns. I don't know how many, it doesn't say here, but it has guns, so you know. The HS-129, which I believe is a... I haven't played much of the German aircraft technically, I tend to stick with the British for aircraft, but I believe the HS-129 is dubbed the Duck, and it has a very big cannon on it. That is getting a cockpit, which will be nice. It's nice to see all the cockpits being added in for sim battle pilots. And the moment that I have been waiting for a very long time, Britain are getting the Firefly F Mark 1, which is a British heavy fighter, I believe. I could be wrong, it could be an attacker. I'm not sure which classification it falls under, but I do know that it has it's basically, in its essentialness, a elongated Spitfire with a gun on the back. It's not, but that's kind of what it looks like. So we're also getting the Firefly F Mark 5, which obviously is a higher tier version of the Firefly. We're getting a Seafire Mark... Ooh, that's a difficult one. That's a Mark 17, I believe. I think that's a Mark 17. My Roman numerals are a little rusty. Which will be interesting, and oh, actually that's the thing, the Skyraider, I've heard, is going to be getting folding wings, which I hope will be added for all the aircraft that have folding wings in the game, because that would be awesome. I'm a big fan of the aesthetic things in the game. To be perfectly honest, I don't give a shit whether a plane's good or not. It could literally be the worst plane in the game, and as long as it looks cool and can do cool stuff, I don't really care. But yeah, so that's going to be awesome, having a Seafire. I don't know if the Seafire has fold-up wings, but if it does, that'll look awesome if it's implemented. We're also getting a Sea Fury FB11, which sounds pretty cool. I don't really know what that is. The Furies I know are a biplane at early tier, but I believe this is a Higher tier one. I'll have to look that one up and put an image on the screen in the video for you guys to see. I'll be putting images of all of these aircraft up, which you already know because you're already watching the video. I'm an idiot. And we're also getting the Attacker FB1, which is a jet fighter, which will be interesting. It's I believe it's the first British jet fighter that hasn't got some sort of weird arrangement, because most of the other British jet fighters have they don't really look like Me-262s, but they've got that basic shape to them, and the basic design of the two jet engines on the wings. But I believe this one has two jet engines in the side of the fuselage, so that'll be interesting when I actually eventually get to jet fighters. We're also getting a cockpit for the Canberra, which I don't have, so it doesn't really affect me, but anybody who has a Canberra, you get a cockpit. Japan are getting the J2M2, which is another variation on the Raiden, I believe it's pronounced, which I believe we already have two of. Could be wrong, could be three. I know we've got one premium one, and I believe there's one in the normal tree, but I can't remember whether there's one or two. I'm pretty sure there's one. And a Ki-21 bomber, so nice to see that Japan are actually getting some aircraft for once, since Japan seem to be on the bottom of the list of things to be added. Be interesting to see Japanese tanks, actually. That's something I'm looking forward to. Not as much as British tanks, obviously, but definitely be interesting. Now, onto the ground vehicles. This update is going to be called Weapons of Victory, I believe. Yes, but it's basically an update to, from what I can see, it's an update to British aircraft and American tank destroyers. So we're going to be getting the M2A2, which I believe is a twin gun Stuart. I'm not sure on that. I'll have to look that up. We're getting a 75mm M3 GMC, which I believe is a truck. I could be wrong there, but we're also getting the M18 GMC, which has actually got some images released of it, which will be pretty cool. I like the look of that one more than I do of the M18 Black Cat, which is going to be added, which I'm assuming is going to be a premium. I just think the muzzle brake and the skirts on the M18, the normal edition, just look cooler. It makes it look more rugged somehow. Anyway, on to the next one, the T95 GMC, which I don't know whether I'm looking at the wrong thing here, but there's a T95 and a T28, but I seem to remember... actually no, I might be thinking... But anyway, the T95 GMC, which I don't really have a clue what that is. I believe the T95 is a super heavy American tank destroyer, because I believe it's in one of the tanks, but I'm not sure on that. I'll have to put an image up on the screen. T28, which is also a tank destroyer, a M10 GMC, which I have no clue what that is, just have to find out from the image on the screen, and a M5A1 5th Armoured Division, which sounds again like a premium. Germany are getting a new addition to the Stug line with the Ster 42G. No idea what Ster stands for, Sturhavik or something like that, I don't know. But I believe it's basically a Sturmovik with a bigger gun. Think a Sturmovik with a howitzer, but it isn't. I think. I could be completely wrong, but the point is, it's another Stug. Wait, did I just call it a Sturmovik? Oh my god, I'm a fucking idiot. It's all Sturmovik and everything with all these foreign vehicles. But anyway, that's a new German tank destroyer, so that's going to be pretty cool. The USSR are getting quite a big update to their military. There's going to be a 4M Gaz AAA, which I believe is a basically a truck with a gun on the back, like the one we've currently got, except with more guns and less firepower, if that makes sense. Less caliber, rather. An Su-57, basically a lot of tank destroyers in this line from what I can see. An Su-122 54, which is, I know, a variation of the SU Tank Destroyer series. T-3485E, which, judging from the fact that there's a T-28E, that's probably a T-3485 with better armour. A T-34E STZ, which I'm going to have to look up because I have no idea what that is. Another premium by the look of it, IS-2 Revenge, which I'm assuming is a sort of specific version of the IS-2. That's one thing with Gaijin's premium vehicles, is, especially with tanks, they haven't really bothered to make new interesting vehicles that people are going to want to buy. They've just copied and pasted vehicles from elsewhere on the tech tree and just given them a bit of decoration with texturing and sold them, which I think is a shame, because they could get some really interesting tank collecting stuff going on with premiums, but it is what it is. And the IS-2 I have yet to unlock, but from what I've seen, it's a bit of a big gun on it. I believe it's a 122mm D5T cannon, which is a big gun. Then there's the SU-76M with the 5th Guards Cossack Cavalry Corps, which I'm assuming is going to be another premium. So that's it for update 1.49. There's also going to be a couple of maps added in this update, which I will put images on the screen of if I can find them. One of them I believe is called Hidden Forest, and the other is Reichstag. So that's going to be pretty interesting. First proper city map in War Thunder, which is going to be awesome, because as much as we all love driving around in a small country village in Poland, it'd be pretty awesome to be in the centre of the Reich sort of thing. So can't wait for that. Looking forward to all of the updates to the British tree. Still no seaplanes for the British though, which is a shame. No Sunderland. But, yeah, well, guess we'll just have to wait until next patch. Although, I'd rather have British tanks than a Sunderland. Want to get my Matildas and my Churchills. But anyway, that is it for update 1.49 Weapons of Victory. There may be changes to this list of vehicles before the full update comes out, and there obviously are going to be other features added to the game that have not been listed here. This is just a list of vehicles and maps that are going to be added. So that's it for me, guys. See you guys next time.